now tied, one apiece. Who will prevail? Who will prevail? You killed my bat! What will I do without my screeching candle? I don't even know what to do.
die! It's not okay! Defeat Flame Mammoth with that.
It is such a long time. That makes Spy one of my earliest followers, guys, even though he didn't start watching the channel until much later. Oh wow, that was a beautiful fail. I love that fail so much. Someone want to clip that amazing fail? So good. Hero has been following me for 2 years, 1 month, 1 day.
Ow. Ow, crap. No, yes! We killed each other! We killed each other! I glitched it out! Look at that! I glitched it out! We killed each other! We killed each other!
No, we didn't.
Smoke troll, smoke troll.
That was beautiful.
Mouth. Suck it, Sigma! Don't ask, because I don't know what that was called. I really don't.
Alright, now we've got a boy chicken. What do we name him?
Cock.
Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to today's Retroarch setup tutorial type stream deal. So yeah, today we're just going to be doing a pretty chill thing. We're just going to be setting up Retroarch, going over any questions people might have with setup, settings, different things like that. So what up, Omar? What is he going to set up? Retroarch. We are going to set up Retroarch, buddy. We are going to, I honestly haven't even looked at Retroarch since it was hacked, so I honestly have no idea, like, which cores are still available, which ones haven't been added back in yet, so figured it was a good time just to kind of hop back in here, see what's going on, and just do a bit of setup for everyone that might have questions. Hi. Oh boy. Oh, what a stinker. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive in then. So, welcome everybody to the stream. If you have any cores you'd like to see get it set up first, just let me know in chat and we could go over those. But to start off, we're just going to get the program up and running for the most part. So, I mean, if you don't have Retroarch installed, just head over to retroarch.com, download. I prefer to do nightly builds myself just because it's the most up-to-date version of the UI, everything. So I prefer nightly builds. You can do stable builds if you'd like, but I do nightly. And then today we're going to focus on Windows. I might do other things like Raspberry Pi or Wii U even, like Vita, like different types of systems. Maybe I could do those a different day, depending on how you guys want it done, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, today we're focusing on Windows. So Windows, maybe, there it goes. x86 64, and then down here at the very bottom there's the retroarch.7zip file, or you could download the setup file if you would rather just have it like automatic. I just prefer the 7-zip. Alright, hurry up and finish. I don't care. I don't care if there's viruses. I don't care. No, I do care, but I don't at the same time. It's hard to say. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull that out of my download folder. And we're going to put it on my desktop here for demonstration purposes. Not a new folder. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. But then 7-zip file, so I'm just going to extract it using 7-zip. There we go. So this is why I fast forward the video a bit, because there's just a lot of hurry up and wait when it comes to setting up Retroarch sometimes. So dang it. Okay. Now the fun begins. Alright. So once Retroarch is downloaded and extracted, you want to make sure you have it in the folder that you want to keep it in. So for demonstration purposes, sorry, I really had a big brain fart there for a second. That was weird. But for demonstration purposes, I actually keep my Retroarch folder in OneDrive under Launchbox. So I have my Retroarch installed over here by default for me. That way it's in the cloud. It's pretty nice. But once you open up Retroarch, it will default all of its directories into itself. So if you end up moving it later, you're going to have to delete a config file that it makes. So right there, that config file gets made. It defaulted the directory. So
If for whatever reason, you decide to end up moving it later, you could just go into the folder, delete that config file, and then wherever you move it to, you should be able to relaunch it or redefault the directories, and everything should work. Should. Alright, so, Retroarch, what is going on with you these days? It has been a minute. So if you press F, you can go into full screen mode, which is nice. And then let's see here. Before we start downloading cores, there's a couple of settings I personally like to set up beforehand. I don't really cover these in my current tutorial videos just because I don't know why really, but I like to go into settings. I like to go to the drivers. I change the video driver from OpenGL to Vulkan just because it'll be much faster for a lot of cores. And it fixes some cores like Dolphin and Play needed it to be switched over to Vulkan before they would work for me and a lot of people, it seems like. But they added in default core video backends. So like if your core doesn't support Vulkan, it will default back open to OpenGL, which is perfect. So there's really no reason not to set it to Vulkan unless your video card doesn't support Vulkan. But if you have anything that isn't integrated graphics from about 2014 on, you should be fine. So that will be good. What up, Fi? How you doing? Welcome back, Omar. So yeah, I changed that to Vulkan. I leave all the rest of it pretty much the same. Menu, if you want to have like the old XMB back, you can change that here as well. But let's be honest, XMB sucks. Nope, don't quit. So, another thing to keep in mind, depending on your setup, is the audio driver. It's defaulted to X Audio, which should work fine for most people, but for whatever reason it doesn't work. You can always come in here and change it over to OpenAL or Direct Sound. But after the video is set, I like to change the scaling options. I like to leave this at core provided, but I like to change this over to integer scale because you get uneven pixel scaling if it's set to stretch. So I like to have it at integer scale. That way it's a very nice, clean picture. You're sick, so you're chilling? I'm sorry to hear that you're sick, Fi, but glad to have you chill with me as we set up some Retroarch. So then next up, bilinear filtering is off by default now, which is good. That used to be set to on, and it really made things look a lot blurrier than they should for emulation, which I was not a fan of, I mean. Oh, what up, Chancellor Palpatine? How you doing? OpenGL or Direct3D12? What's the difference? Retroarch does have a ton of options. It's one of the reasons why I want to go over it. I have a pretty decent understanding of what everything does. I mean, I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I understand what it does. So I want to help people that might not. But OpenGL is a older video backend, so it has a lot more overhead, whereas Direct3D12 is more... Direct3D12 has more access to the hardware, but not a lot of emulators actually use Direct3D12, so I recommend using Vulkan, which is low level like Direct3D12, but a lot of emulation cores actually have Vulkan backends where they don't have Direct3D12 backends. So let's put it. How do we put this? Say you have something that is like OpenGL's base performance is a 1. We'll say like OpenGL's base performance is a 1. Vulkan and Direct3D12 would be like a 3 or something. So definitely recommend switching over to Vulkan. And cores that don't support Vulkan will default back to OpenGL automatically. So it's a good thing just to set it before you even get started, really. But yeah, like Direct3D 9, 10, 11, like these are, like never use Direct3D 9 or 10 unless you're like on a super old computer. But if you're going to be on a super old computer, you're not really going to be playing 3D games per se. So GL would be good there, I guess. I don't know. These are things I want to explore more of. Like I have a slew of old computers that I want to just throw Retroarch on because they have support all the way back to Windows 95, which is hilarious. I forgot what I'm doing now. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So video output, I change, like it's at Vulkan. I have a 4K monitor, so all this is all defaulted. But yeah, scaling, integer scaling, I prefer to have that on just because it gives you even pixel scaling. There's no shimmering on the image. It looks very good, very clean. So, very nice. Played Super Mario 64 and F-Zero X on a potato. I know. You could play some very inaccurate versions of those games on anything these days. Like, honestly, I could play those games on a Pentium 3. It's amazing. But a lot of inaccuracies, and I'm a stickler for accuracy. Anyways, synchronization, VSync, you can turn this on or off if you you just might get some screen tearing. So, I mean, I haven't had a problem with it being on. People talk about how it will add in latency and stuff. I've never been one to feel a lot of latency personally, so I mean, that doesn't really matter to me. But then if you have a FreeSync or G-Sync monitor, you can turn on this option as well, which is really freaking cool. Like, this is super nice. What up, Ancient? How you doing, buddy? Alexis, what are you doing? Kids, man. You want that Sennheiser headset? Dude, this thing is, this is crazy. That is a crazy partnership, man. It's a crazy partnership, Ancient. I'm blown away. Kids, everybody. You're gonna go to Best Buy? Sounds good, Omar. But anyway, moving on. If you have a slower computer or an older graphics card, you could try turning on threaded video to help with performance, but as it says, it will improve latency. I mean, increase latency, increase latency. So if you have a faster computer, it's not really worth turning on because it actually hurts your performance in a way. But if you have a slower computer, it can actually help. I've used this on a Raspberry Pi, and it's helped out a bit on older models. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything I set up at the beginning here. Double check. I want to get into one advanced setting later, but we're going to go ahead and do that once we're actually like into course setup and things like that. But yeah, so once you have that set, you can go back up to the main menu. You can save the config file, save current configuration. That way, whenever you load up a core, this is the default config it will load from to begin with, because every time you load up a core, it copies the current config to a new core config file, and then you edit the core file. So if you set all this before loading cores, it's a lot less work later, which is always a plus. But what core should we load up first, guys? Let's jump into the online updater. What should we load up first? I mean, I brought a bunch of different game options over for us, so we can jump into most common systems here. Let's see here. I haven't really even looked at this. Like, what's missing? Like, we don't have current MAME? Like, what? Interesting. So we got 2600, 5200, 7800, Jaguar, Beetle. Huh. Interesting. But before we do, make sure you like and subscribe. What up, D-Benz? It's been a minute. How have you been? PlayStation? Beetle PlayStation? I know it's Mednafen, but they call it Beetle on Retroarch as to avoid issues with Mednafen. What up, Digital Outlaw? Have I tried Switch emulation yet? No. I have not. I haven't hacked my Switch, so I mean, I don't have a way of dumping the games yet, so haven't really bothered. What is it, Yuzo or whatever? Which one? Which one is the one that's like actually really taking off these days? But yeah, let's go ahead and start with PS1 then, that's fine. So PS1, Beetle, PSX. Yuzu is pretty good? Okay. Thanks, Ancient. What does the Sony PSP remote play core do? It's to remote play into your PS3. Like as if it was a PSP. Oh, hey, they brought play back. That's good. Yeah, they even have that still? Like, do they even still have remote play core? I didn't see it. Did I just miss it? Am I blind? No, I don't think it's here anymore. At least not right now. Huh. Does that mean they brought back Dolphin on here? No, Dolphin's not back yet. Doesn't look like. Anyway. Good, man. Just working from home, chilling out, waiting for your entertaining at 9 p.m. tonight. Part WWE, part soap opera. What up, Wiz? Welcome. Ryujinx is slower than Yuzu, but has a native upscaler. Well, that's nice. That's definitely a plus. Yeah, once... I don't know. I don't really care a whole lot for current system emulation personally. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I own the system, so if I'm going to get games for it, I mean, I'm going to be playing them on real hardware for a while. For me, the real gem of emulation comes from preserving, like, older systems, but, I mean, to each their own. There's no wrong approach to emulation in my mind, so... Alright, so, let's go ahead and get started with Beetle PSX hardware. So, we downloaded the core. But if you try to jump right into playing a game, I really need to set a default directory for this so we don't have to do this every time. But yeah, if you try to just load into a game after downloading the core, you're going to end up with an error message that will look like this. Because, except piracy, that's the wrong way to emulate, right, Ice? Exactly. You're going to get the xCloud stream controller from 8BitDo. Nice. But yes, so when you first try to load up PS1 emulation after downloading the core, you're going to get this whole big deal about how the firmware is missing. So what you need to do is get the required firmware file. So I have a tutorial on how to get your own... There we go. So on my channel, I have a video on how to dump PS1 firmware. Go faster. Must go faster. Must go faster. Thank you. Where is it? Yeah, so PS1 tutorial. I don't want to play them all, but I have a how to dump a PS1 BIOS tutorial right here. What's up? Look at that hair, man. That's when I had long hair. So if you still have an actual PS1, you can legally dump your BIOS file using a PS1 in combination with like a Dex drive, or if you have a modded PS2, you can copy the files from that, which is what I show in the video. So there's that way of doing it, or I mean, you can use Google and try to find one illegitimately. I mean, I'm not your conscience. I don't care how you obtain it. I just cover how to do it legally, because that's how I prefer to do things. So there is my look at that date. It even lines up perfectly. Look at that. 4/24/2018. 4/28/2018. I love it. Some of these dates are really screwy. Like 1997, like whatever. But anyway, once you source your needed BIOS file, it just goes into this system folder right here in the Retroarch folder. So you just copy it in. And now when you try to load, what version of Retroarch is this, Kirk? It is 1.9.0. Like, that's the one they're still on right now. But once you have that in the system folder, you can actually go ahead and load up the games. This is for NTSC-U games. It might work with NTSC-J, I don't remember, but I don't believe it works with PAL. Yes, the PS Classic does count as a real PlayStation because it has the BIOS file inside, and it is a very easy way to get it. I need to actually make a video on how to rip the BIOS file out of a PS Classic, because it is very easy to do it that way and very convenient. It's way easier than the way I have on my channel at the moment. Used all your tutorials, set up the PC. I mean, the perfect and all-in-one gaming PC. Using it, Launchbox is godly. I love it. Yes, Launchbox is the friggin' best. Yes, that is something I do need to make, because it is so easy to get the BIOS file from a PS Classic. Like, very easy. Oh, that's a good idea. That is a great idea. Thank you for actually bringing that up, Kirk. Like, that is a good idea. That gives me an idea for a video I could do in the coming weeks. Like, oh, yes. But anyway, so I tried to load up that Ace Combat 2, and as I showed you, when you try to do it without the BIOS file, it tells you the BIOS file is missing. So now that we placed it, we could try to reload it, and it should that. For anyone who's never been to one of my live streams, I'm actually a pretty big friggin' weirdo, so welcome. Anyway, so I don't actually have a controller hooked up right now, so don't mind me while I just dink around with the keyboard. I love that this game has a 480i menu. It's so beautiful. But yeah, so that's the basic steps to getting PS1
broke out in the military corps' general area code NAP.
The hardest thing about it is just sourcing that BIOS file.
During a time
if you
when
want to do it legally, there's a couple of
on a
options. If you want
diplomatic
to do it
mission.
illegally,
Forces occupied the Sector Administration. They seized control
Again, I
of
try to stick
facilities in each district.
legal.
They are expanding their
I try to personally
influence
stick
while
with
strengthening their fighting power. Their military
because that's what I
capabilities include air and sea
I
forces.
know a lot of people don't agree
It
with
has
that.
also been
but
confirmed
whatever.
that they are in possession of
That's
extra
how I roll.
powerful cruise
Keeps
missiles.
my channel from being
To respond to the
attacked
rebel
by
forces, the military corps headquarters made a decision to use the Special Tactical Fighter Squadron Scarface, which
My bad. I am sorry. Thank you, Kirk.
We want you to go on this mission and
Weirdo,
suppress the
Beardo,
Pentagon
yes.
immediately. You will receive all-out support from our military corps, full information regarding the rebels.
Yes, I apologize.
To our intelligence division and military supplies.
I want to skip the video. Why won't it let me skip the video? How dare it? Just fast forward it then. So yeah, if you press spacebar, it does an automatic fast forward. It's really cool. But yeah, I mean, there we go. That's PS1 emulation basic setup. That's how you get it running. Of course, there's a lot more to it. PS1 stream with the Tribute 64? I mean, I could. It's right there. Button mapping would be all kinds of screwy, but I mean, that'd work. Why not? Let's go for it. Found yourself playing MGS this weekend? Nice. I just finished the PS1 version of MGS like a week ago? Week and a half ago? And then they just released the PC version on GOG. Like, that was cool. Oh, look, it's not defaulting my controller. Let's go. Didn't need to install drivers? Oh, whatever. But let's go into the advanced settings here. That's why you guys are here. So for PS1 upscaling, you got the internal GPU resolution, very first option. I'm so glad they moved that up. On the one I have currently installed, it's like down here somewhere. It's so easy now. I played it so much I could play it in my sleep. That's awesome. Screwier than MCC? Yes, much screwier than MCC, because on MCC, I set the button mapping. By default, on the Tribute, it'd be like cross, triangle, square. Like, it'd be weird. But yes, so internal GPU resolution. This is where the Beetle PSX hardware core really came in handy, because this all used to run off of your CPU. So if you didn't have like a 9900K, you couldn't really go above 4x scaling. But now you can go all the way up to like 8x, 16x, depending on your GPU. Like, most everyone should be able to do 4x. Like, I was able to do 4x on a 750 Ti. For some games I had to do 2x, but for the most part, I could get away with this. So, I mean, most everyone should be fine at 4x. And then if you have a RTX 2080 or above or whatnot, you should be fine with these. I don't know. Let's see what my 1080 can do. Downloaded Final Fantasy VII Original and Sephiroth's beating you down. But yeah, let's see what happens here. Ooh, yeah, nope. My 1080 cannot do, my 1080 cannot do 8x scaling on PS1 games. Like, that is a slideshow. It also doesn't help that I'm doing GPU encoding, so my GPU is already being used, but still. 4x is pretty much that big safe zone. Bullet time activated. Yeah, so. Yeah, even that's got stuttering though. It's probably because I'm streaming. So, yeah. All right. So, I normally run at 4x when I'm not streaming without issues on my 1080. So if you have anything less than a 1080, you're probably going to want to stick to just 2x. Meant to ask you, is it possible to set up separate Retroarch configurations for PC? In what way, Kirk? Like, oh, for example, I want to use one Retroarch for N64 and one for PS1 games, because when I use them, I use original controllers too. Well, I mean, you could set per core configuration, so you don't have to have multiple instances of Retroarch. That's one of the features that have been added in over the last couple of years. So I will show you that here in just a moment. Okay. I want you guys to, like, I'm just going to leave it here for now. Okay, so PS1 per core config, yep. How's it going, Constant? How you doing? problem you're having is to keep mapping the controls, I'll show you how to do that too, Kirk. Absolutely. We'll go over that right now. I will happily show that to you because I have actually been doing that on I've actually been doing some per core configurations on some weird USB N64 controllers. I'm well. How does one disable the controller connected pop-up when a game starts? I will show you that right now as well. Here, let's go ahead and cover some of that stuff before we dive more into some advanced PS1 settings here. So, Kirk, for your controller options, like, let's see here. So, I'm assuming that you set up your controller through the input here. Like, you go in, you change your port 1 binds through this, you get it all set up. And then you go through the core options, and not that one. And then you set up the controls to match what you need them to match here. Correct? Just wait here patiently. Sorry, there's a slight delay in the stream since I use Restream and it's going to YouTube and Twitch. It makes it a little bit more delayed than it normally would. Yes, okay, cool. So after you have all of the controls set up in this menu, in the core like the quick menu controls menu, you can save a core remap file right here. So you can set it to whatever you want. Then you hit this save core remap file save selected. So now whenever you load up like the PS1 core or the N64 core, it will load that remap file. Whoops. There you go, G-Benz. There's the Twitch channel for you. But that's how you save the core remap file. So it should automatically load it. If you have multiple core remap files you want to do, you can manually load them in right here. You want to be able to save controller profiles for Retroarch, not cores. But you're using the one controller per core. You're not using a PS1 controller on N64 and an N64 controller on PS1, yeah? And I'm here trying to run oh, snap. Team Oakham, thank you for that Twitch follow. Is that you, D-Benz? Trying to run Metal Gear Solid at 4X on my GeForce 840M laptop. Yeah, you're going to want to tone that down a bit. Oh no, there's D-Benz. Okay, so Team Oakham, thank you for that Twitch follow. And D-Benz, thank you for the Twitch follow. There we go. Yeah, so this is the method you'll want to use then. Because this will save it so when you have that PS1 controller plugged in, it will load up the PS1 controls by default on your core. Oh my goodness, Wiz. What is that? Wiz.
Hot take pancakes are better than waffles. Don't at me.
I make a mean pancake, Wiz. I make a mean pancake. I like pancakes better than waffles personally. It's just a inside joke between me and Hashka about the whole waffle song. That's how that whole thing got started. So get Amiga and FM Towns running and then you'll be an emulator god. What up, Black Rabbit? How you doing? I don't have either of those systems. That's the only problem. Like, I typically stick to what I actually have. So, I have no experience with either of those systems. Which is better? Technically, if I could get everyone watching on YouTube, it would help me out a lot more than Twitch, but I mean, I don't really care. Whatever works best for everyone who watches. That's one of the great things about using Restream. You get to choose where you want to watch. Pancakes are better most of the time, yes. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, Retroarch is very... It looks scarier than it really is. Ah. I'm trying to choke on my own spit. This is great. Okay. I just got over a bit of a cold, so I apologize that I'm kind of like running short of breath. I'm still not 100% yet, so I apologize. Wish I had an N64. They're harder to find in England. That's interesting. I mean, N64 wasn't the best seller, but yeah. I'd recommend importing one, personally. PAL games are no fun on N64. Do these points amount to anything for you? Oh, like the channel points on Twitch? Nah, they're just for you to redeem things for, but I haven't set them up yet. I really haven't set them up. Don't die, my friend. I need your business. Any news on the Steam release? They've been doing beta key giveaways. I back them on Patreon, so technically I could have requested one. I just don't personally see the point to a Steam release of Retroarch. That's just me. I don't understand the purpose of it. Like, it makes it harder to, like, add cores. Like, you have to go through Steam to add the cores, which I don't personally care for. Whereas it's like, if I wanted to add Retroarch to Steam, like, if I really wanted to run it through Steam, it's like, I could just go into Steam and add a non-Steam game and then choose my Retroarch EXE. Like, I don't need a dedicated Steam version personally. Like I said, that's just me though. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand the purpose of it. Local, a lot of N64s. Yeah, we have one here too. Go through Steam to add cores. Ooh, yeah. It's like what is it? Steam Workshop? Like, you go to Steam Workshop to add cores or something is how I've heard that it goes. Like, I don't understand. Sorry, we got off topic. I'm sorry, Constant. I'm sorry. We got off topic. But that's how you get those individual controller remap files for different cores. Like, if you're going to be playing with, like I play Saturn with Retrobit Saturn controllers. So I'll have a specific remap just for Saturn games. Like, this is how you do that. So whenever I plug my Saturn controller in and then turn on the Saturn core, it will be exactly how I mapped it before. But yes, those pop-ups. So that is actually all done from the main menu. So under settings, then you've got the user interface. I should turn that off. All right. But yes, where is it? Menu item visibility. Here we go. So, no, that's not the one I want either. Man, they changed it. I'm sorry, they changed it. Give me a second to find it again. Yeah, these are just the settings. That's not what I want. I actually want the pop-ups. Appearance. There we go. We want appearance. Or not. Cool. They did change it. Oh, this is fun. Okay, I see why this has become a problem constant. No platform for downloading things. I trust Steam more than a website I haven't heard of before. Well, I mean, Retroarch is a very big name these days. Like, everyone pretty much knows what it is if they dabble somewhat seriously into emulation. Yeah, let's go, Wiz. 1.8.4, and that interface looks way different. Yeah, so you're still on XMB then, aren't you? Alright, let's find it then. Thumbnails, second thumbnails, ticker text. Okay. So yeah, they here we go. Turn advanced settings on then. Let's go back in. Here we go. On-screen display. That's what we want actually. I'm dumb. So yeah, it's not user interface, it's on-screen display. I don't know how to read. But yeah, on-screen notifications, off. Now you won't, that's how you disable all the pop-ups. So it won't tell you when you've loaded the core, it won't tell you when controllers are plugged in. That gets rid of everything. So, yeah, I feel dumb. It's alright. It's alright. That's one of the great things about doing this live. You guys get to see some of the learning process because, again, I don't know everything. I just understand it a little bit. So, I don't know. It's funner. More fun. Let's go. Let's use proper pronunciation in English, shall we? But, yeah, so now, that's for what Kirk said about user profiles. Like, that's when you can, if you wanted to be able to, like, use the different controllers inside, like, the menu and stuff, like, technically you can save new configuration files. Like, you get everything set up how you want it with your one controller, save the current configuration, and then set up everything the way you want it with the PS1 controller, save current configuration, and then you could load between them like that, like using the file browser. Search your feelings, you know it be true. You got a Crystal Xbox for $3. Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous, Ancient. I want a Crystal Xbox so bad. They're so pretty. I have the Halo edition and I love it, but like that Crystal one is just, it's another level. Dude, it's weird that my Tribute 64 isn't set up by default. Like, that's really weird to me. It should be. But that's what manually binding all of your stuff is for, so. I guess autoplay profiles have died. Alright, so there we go. Now I have my Tribute 64 working. What the? There we go. There we go, cool. I was stoked when I got it home to find tons of games already on it. That's nice. Alright, Wiz, lurk away, my friend. Never seen an orange LED Xbox before? So it's funny, the LED in the front of the Xbox can actually display green, orange, or red, depending on the types of, the type of status the box is in. So, I mean, green means everything's good. Orange typically meant video cables weren't plugged in, and then red was a hardware error. And you can actually, it's split down the center, so there's one on this side and one on this side. So, it was cool. It was cool. Like, it was really cool back in the day, and the way people would mod them, like, oh my gosh. Some of the mods people did on original Xboxes were just absolutely gorgeous. Your old modded Xbox cycled all three. Yep, that was a BIOS option that people would implement. Alright, anyways, let's get back to the core options here. So we've covered GPU resolution. Alright. So, can I just say how happy I am that the LibRetro team has added in, like, actual descriptors of what all of these options do? Like, it's so freaking nice. You just turned off the on-screen notifications, but then the controller notifications still happen, bugging 1.84 then? Not necessarily. Like, again, the thing about Retroarch is it saves... If you have no cores loaded, that is one set of configurations, and then if you load a core, it loads into another set of configurations, so basically, you will need to go through each core and change it. And then when you leave the core, it'll save the new core settings with it disabled. So that's one of the downfalls of RetroArch. Like, if you don't set like system-wide things like that first before starting to load into cores, you get to go back through and redo them. Now, there is a way to disable it, but I really don't recommend it just because it can cause more problems. Like, it's a mild irritation to go through and change one setting a few times, but it's better than having a core stop working because it's trying to load something else for another core. You said it with no cores loaded, but you've loaded the cores before, so they have their own configuration files, I'm assuming. Oh, other emulators are so much easier, but at the same time, there's not a better PS1 emulator than Beetle PSX hardware. Like, this is by far currently, like, the most accurate to most usable. Like, there's Zebra, which is way more accurate, but it's really hard to use. And then, like, PCSX Rearmed and EPSXE just have a lot of issues with them still, like, and especially with their controller modes. Like, trying to enable analog on those controllers is annoying. And so, I don't know. There's something to be said about RetroArch just because it does have a number of cores that are just the best ways of playing these games, especially on N64. Mupen 64 Plus Next with parallel RDP RSP. Best N64 emulation you can get, only available in RetroArch. So, it's a trade-off. Like, see, that's why I don't actually use RetroArch as my front end. I get the core set up, and then I go to Launchbox, because, again, like, it works, but why deal with it? Why deal with this if you don't have to? Then same thing with Dreamcast, like, Flycast, like, Flying Head has gone in and made that, like, the best possible Dreamcast emulator. Like, Redream was super nice and convenient and easy to use. Like, you don't have to set anything up, it's just really plug and play, but if you want to get, like, advanced features, you have to pay for it, and it still couldn't do Windows CE games. Whereas, Flycast, it's like, alright, put my DC folder in there, I get Windows CE, I get upscaling, and it was free. Oak City, what up, buddy? Redream's your baby, just wish you could play CE games. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I'm all for the Redream author trying to make a buck on it. Like, I have no problems with it being paid for upscaling things like that. Like, if he can make money off of that, I fully support that. Like, people should be able to make a living off of things they enjoy. Speaking of which, Wiz has graciously let us hit our funding goal for the day. Thank you, Wiz. Thank you again, Wiz. And here's me still using crappy null DC and Rycast. Well, I mean, Flycast is a derivative of Rycast, so. But yes, it's definitely worth getting it set up in Retroarch now. Like, it's the best Dreamcast emulation has been. But yeah, Oak City in the house. What up, buddy? Anyways, we've just been kind of talking about it. Let's just show it again. Do you have a real Dreamcast and that new controller and a Hyperkin cable? Dude. The Striker DC is so good. It's so good. Oak City Gamers. Alright, so moving on in the core options here. So we've got, dang it, that's the wrong button. So 2x GPU resolution. PS1 hardware enabled dithering by default, so you can change, you could disable it, but that will result in some color banding. So native will, when you upscale, if you have it at native, it'll present improperly, so I prefer to keep that set to internal resolution, so no matter what you change this to, it will match. RetroFighters, they rename it to the Striker. The Striker DC was always its name. RetroFighters is the company that makes it, and then the name of the controller is Striker DC. No worries, no worries. No, not dumb at all. No, not dumb at all. Nah. So, now one of the greatest things about PS1 emulation, if you prefer to make the experience a little bit more optimal for today's standards compared to having it be, like, identical to what PS1 was back in the day, you can enable the, PGXP modes. So PS1 games, textures would warp depending on like how you looked at them. It was just a thing about the hardware, the way the video cards worked. Like, if you're really interested in knowing how PS1 graphics work, I definitely recommend checking out Modern Vintage Gamer's video on it. It's really fascinating stuff. Like, so cool. But with these modes enabled, it gets rid of the texture warping, and I don't know. So for me, I'm all about trying to make it accurate to the real experience when it comes to Gen 5 and older. Like Gen 6, like GameCube, PS2, I do all kinds of like upscaling, like HD texture packs and all this other stuff. But for whatever reason, when it came to like PS1, N64, Saturn, I like having it all ugly. So, like, it's fun to experiment with this stuff, but for the most part, I actually don't use it. But, like, it's really cool to see. Like, here, let's go back into the game real quick so you can see. Oops. Oops. Like, look at the ground. You see how the ground is, like, wiggling and shaking and changing as I like get near it? Like that's PS1 texture warping in a nutshell. Like it moves around. So if you enable these options, And then you can, I think 4 was the good one. So yeah, this one can cause freezes at times, but we'll see what happens. But now we go back in. It's still doing it a little bit. It's not a good example game, apparently. Some games it really cleans it up, like it's crazy. It's fixed it for this one. The top it isn't really working on, but it definitely helped for the next one. Let's try, yeah, there we go, that's what helps. Soundboard you can make, what you're saying right now would be glorious. Okay, Ancient. Oh, let's dive. Let's just dive into the water. Let's not even worry about it. But yeah. So that definitely reduced it a little bit on stuff I'm directly looking at. We're still seeing a little bit on the sides, so I mean it's not perfect, but it does help a lot. It just really depends on the game. Yeah. Depends on the game. I have a lot more success with that in Tony Hawk. Any decent GameCube cores, or is Dolphin the best emulator for that for now? Standalone Dolphin is one of the best emulators, hands down, period, to be honest, Constant. Like, standalone Dolphin takes so much out of, like, it makes it a lot, I don't even know I don't know how to say this the way I want to say it. So, you have Retroarch, where you have to go in and do all of this insane setup, and there will be a lot of things where you'll need to set up per game things, like there'll be settings that'll work for one game that might not work for other ones, so you'll set per game option files, different things like that. Whereas Dolphin has already done all of that. Like, Dolphin is the easiest emulator there ever is. All you do is download it, load up a game, it automatically loads what settings it needs to run, and then all a user needs to do is decide if they want to upscale it. Like, it's so easy. Well, and set up a controller, but like Dolphin's the reason I got into this stuff, honestly. Like, I mean, well, I made the YouTube channel actually, but like I've been emulating for decades, but like Dolphin, man, like once Rogue Squadron 2 became emulatable, like that just, I dove head in. But yeah, how's it going, C-Funk? Is Retroarch fixed? Mostly. It doesn't have all of its cores back yet, but, yeah, that's true, Gus. That is true. Some settings do require a restart. They usually say if they need a restart on them, so, I mean, let's go ahead and do that, though. Let's make a save state here. Because, I mean, that's true. They might not just have them labeled right. So, let's just go ahead and make a save state real quick. Let's close out of it. It's gonna say nah. So we're not gonna load your state. No. We're not gonna load it. Don't worry about it. Runs great on your Intel laptop, Dolphin, I mean. Yeah, Dolphin's one of the best emulators out there. Oh, does Rebel Strike work on Dolphin again? Let's go. I haven't tried that in years. Like, it's been broken for so long, I just haven't even cared. Wow, it really doesn't let you skip this, huh? No, it does. Okay, cool. Dolphin and Simu. Simu has no right to run as well as it does. Can we just say that right off the bat? Like, it has no right to run anywhere near as good as it does. But it does. Like, it's nuts. Alright, so it doesn't look like restarting really changes anything for the textures in this game. Again, this mode is going to, it did a little bit. It's really going to just depend on the game how much the effect really helps out, but like you can see that it does help quite a bit compared to what it was. Like it's still there a bit, but nowhere near as jarring. Dolphin pulled you into Emulation 2 with DVC, Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and 3. Nice. Neither does Yuzu. Not to mention Lincoln Soul Calibur. Or maybe Yuzu does since the Switch uses Vulkan. The Switch has 3 video backends. It uses Vulkan, OpenGL, and the Nintendo's proprietary one that I can't remember the name of off the moment. But the whole thing is like, the Switch uses ARM, which is a very well documented core. There's already ARM emulators on PC to begin with, like BlueStacks and things like that emulate Android phones that use ARM. So I don't know. I can understand Switch emulation coming along pretty quickly since it's using a well-known processor. But remember when the Wii used ATI? Remember when ATI was its own standalone company and not part of AMD? Like, geez. Bringing up the ancient times here. Yeah, so line to quad hack, this is game specific, so it'll tell you which games it will really affect right there. So if you need to play those games, that's the one for you. Frame duping, if you have a slower computer, you can no, that's not right. I don't really remember what frame duping does. It's not one I typically use, so Soul Blade. You still have a soft spot for Rebel Strike? That's alright. It's okay to like bad games. Kappa. Parallel needs easy widescreen codes. You know, that's one thing I've never actually messed around with in RetroArch is why, like, any cheat codes, actually. Like, people ask me in the comment section about cheat codes. It's like, I have no idea. I've never used cheat codes on RetroArch. Especially the speeder bike levels. Oh, gosh. Huh, why is my CPU Dynarect disabled? That's interesting. That's interesting. I thought it would be on light rec by default these days. Alright, so this one will be important for people with lower end CPUs. So, Interpreter is running everything through your CPU. Like, brute forcing it, basically.
I have to go get ours.
Okay. Hi, Bug. Hi, Bug.
Don't grab me.
No worries, Constant. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. Hope I've been able to help you a little bit.
Talk to Daddy about it.
Come here, Roddy. Roddy. All right, guys, we got the bug. We got the bug. So I don't know how to explain Dynarec accurately. Like, interpreters are like the slowest, like have to do everything like one line at a time, whereas yes, I am, Alexis, I am. It's not something you'd be that interested in. Whereas the Dynarec basically makes it so you get a speed increase, but it looks like they have it disabled by default because they don't have them correctly implemented yet. I thought that they said LightRec was doing really well these days, though. So, I don't know. I guess if you have a faster CPU, just go ahead and leave it disabled for now. But if you have a lower-end machine, you could try changing on LightRec or max performance. Might end up with some inaccuracies, but it'll give you better performance in most games. So, I mean, it's not a bad trade-off if you don't have any issues in the games that you're playing. Xbox One and Soul Calibur 6. I have an Xbox One and Dead or Alive 6. I did play Soul Calibur 6 on PC once. Dude, Ancient. Soul Calibur 6 is on Game Pass. I should let you work me one of these days. Next up, we've got so emulated PS1 CPU overclocks. So wow, they increased this a lot. You go up to 750% CPU overclock now. That's crazy. So basically, PS1 games would often run in the 20 FPS range. If you want to get them all locked to 30 FPS or up to 60, if they had unlocked frame rates up to 60, you can increase your PS1's emulated CPU. It requires more power from your CPU, so if you don't have a very high-end processor, that's not going to work very well, but it is an option. We need to load up a better game than Ace Combat 2. Ace Combat 2 is a pretty well optimized game. Hold on, let's load up a different game. Show that off. Alright. Hello, little bug. Yeah, let's see here. Let's go with, there you go. Tony Hawk 3, that'll be a good one. Hold on, guys. Alexis caused a problem in the toilet again. Oh, sweet. This stream is now copyright claimed. Let's go. Amazing. But yes, career mode. This game ought to give us some nice low FPSs for me to show this off with. Alright, hi Bug. Hi. Alright. Got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 from my abandonware and use a PS Classic controller? Heck yes. Sell Calors on Game Pass. No tag is that. Hey Ice, I recently discovered why people like CRT on retro games. It's not just scan lines, it's the glow. It makes the text in Zelda look so cool. Well, I mean, there's glow, there's no motion blur. image blur, I mean. On LCDs, when you turn cameras around, the screen will blur because of sample and hold. Like LED LCD screens are... it's hard to describe it without being able to show it in person, but a moving image on a CRT looks better than a moving image on any LCD panel in existence. Dude, let's go. This is lagging up. I love it. Turn the music off. Okay. We're gonna just go ahead and enable internal FPS so we can see what it's running at real quick. There we go. So, what the heck are you doing? What just happened? There we go. So you can see this is a game that wants to try to stick to 60 FPS, but we're getting low FPS. I'm also getting a bad, getting awful emulation lag at the moment. Freaking A. Whatever. Let's stick to native right now. Streaming kills emulation, man. I need to hook up a different computer when I cover emulation because this is bad. There we go. Now we got no lag. So whenever you hear audio crackling like it was just doing for me, like that means you're not running full speed emulation. Like your emulation is not going right. But yeah, so classic levels, Ace of Spades. Rad said this was his fave PS1 skateboarding game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is incredible on pretty much any platform it exists. Oh, hi. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey. Why don't you go up there for a minute then, little bug? No, that's my microphone. That's mine. Later, D-Benz. Thank you so much for popping in. Hope you have a wonderful day. You think Pro Skater is your favorite? I never played a lot of Pro Skater 4. Hi. Hi. But let's... Hi. Oh, hello. Hello. But yeah, let's go ahead and crank this up to 200%, just so we can show you what a difference it can make. Alright, so there you go. As you can see, now it is sticking around 59.8 FPS instead of dropping down to 30s and low 40s. That's my head you're beating on. So if you have a CPU that can handle it, like, it definitely makes so many PS1 games so much more playable and enjoyable compared to today's standards. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing, weirdo? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, so there we go. So at 200%, we were already hitting pretty much the maximum FPS this game would allow. So going up to 250 did literally nothing. But that's one thing that I love about emulation in this day and age. It's like just overclocking these emulated CPUs. It doesn't work for every game, sadly. Like, it will actually make some games break, but for the ones it works on, like, it's such a cool experience. This kid is insane. Look at him. He is insane. Guys, this kid, this little kid is nuts. Ah, that's my face you're trying to eat. Oh no, the microphone. What are you doing? Hey. But anyway, there's also a couple of different overclocks. So like the GTU overclock, it's a coprocessor, and then the GPU overclock. The GPU overclock doesn't really seem to do a whole lot. It's more along the lines of the CPU overclock that I've personally found make a bigger difference. Like, I don't actually typically use these at all. But I mean, there's some games that might be GPU limited that this would help with, but I personally haven't encountered any in the small subset of games that I personally own. Might have said it before, but you have a 2- and a 4-year-old. I believe so, Kirk. Like, aren't they insane? He's almost a year now, and she's almost 4, so... How are you almost 4? That's absurd. Like, 4 months. No, not 4 months. Like, 5 months, and then she'll be 4? Like, that's nuts. Yeah, you found a jelly bean? Yeah. Do you want it? Okay, you can have it. If you take one to John. Here, take that one to John. You can have the one you found. One is autistic and the 2-year-old doesn't talk. I mean, still precious, you know? Our girl, she's barely starting to talk correctly. Like, she had such a big speech delay. It was unfortunate, but she's starting to sound almost caught up. She doesn't use the word don't. So she'll say she wants something, but she means she doesn't want it. And so she'll get super mad when you give it to her. It's like, what? They're crazy and always jump on you. I think that's just kids, man, regardless of anything else. That's just kids. My kids beat the living crap out of me, man. It hurts. Oh, man. Oh, hi. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. They love spinning around. I try to spin my kids around, and then I get super dizzy and fall on the ground. Hey. Hi. Alright, so the next option we have for PS1 is to... Ah! What are you doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? Do you ever get scratched? Yes. I actually have a nice one right now. Ah, what are you doing? What are you doing? I have a nice scratch on my forearm right now from, I think it was from her, actually. I helped get her down for bed at night because she's, like, scared of the dark a little bit still. So, you know, you just go in and sit with her until she falls asleep. But, she grabbed my arm and scraped it a bit yesterday. Don't get me started on spinning. My 4-year-old wants me to spin him on my shoulders all the time. Oh, no. And I love you too, John. Can I have a high five? Fireman's lift, yes. So, anyways, the next option is the skip BIOS option. So, if you don't want to have that PS1 BIOS animation every time you boot up a game, you turn that one on. And that way when you boot into a game, it'll just... No? Okay, it doesn't want it. Don't worry about it. Awesome. Awesome. Way to make me look like a fool, Retroarch. Anyway. Apparently it doesn't work. But that's what it's supposed to do. It's what it's supposed to do. It doesn't, so don't worry about it. Oh, that's funny. Anyways, next up are some widescreen mode hacks. They aren't the greatest things. I'd recommend looking for native widescreen codes on on different websites that people have been coming up with, you'll get better results than using a widescreen hack 95% of the time. I mean, it's something you can experiment with, but it's not something I've ever really had good results with personally. And then, of course, image cropping. So there's a lot of CRTs had a lot of yeah. It's like, Roddy, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get out of here. What are you doing? Anyway, so CRTs actually had a lot of overscan. So, like, when you emulate a game, like, say you're playing Mario 3, you'll notice there's a bunch of garbage data on the left side of the screen when you emulate it that wasn't there when you would play on a CRT, because that was actually, like, over in this area of the CRT that you couldn't physically see. And then, like, on SegaGenesis, when you emulate it, you'll see a bunch of dots on the bottom of the emulated screen that weren't there when you actually play it on a real CRT. And that's just part of the overscan, so that's something that this stuff is for, so you can set overscans. There we go. Yeah, hi. Yeah, we're back. We're back with you. John, leave it alone, please. Autistic kids have this ability to not get dizzy. I think that's just kids. That's just kids in general. I'm crashed out on the sofa, eyes spinning. Yup, exactly. Just like Dolphin for the widescreen codes? Yes, C-Funk. Dolphin's widescreen hack has so many issues. Widescreen codes tend to be better than hacks. Yup. Sonic 2. Angie, thank you so much for that YouTube sub. How you doing today? One that bothered me a lot was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on N64. That could be a bug, though. No, that's not actually a bug. That actually does happen on a real CRT. You can see the ghost text off to the right a little bit on my CRT. My CRT isn't aligned properly, so I could see the overscan on the right a little bit. So yeah, that is actually in the game. Like, it's not a bug. That's what's crazy about it. But yeah, that's a great example of when to good.
Look, Roddy eats your chair.
Yeah, Roddy's eating my chair.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. All right, there we go. Welcome back, stream. Welcome back. I love that our internet likes to crap out for a full second at a time. All right. So next up, you got some scanline stuff. I'm not a big scanline guy. Like, I don't mess with scanlines on emulation a whole lot. Like, I will stick with, like, yeah, I'll stick with that. Like, I'll just stick with, like, the CRT filters that you can get in RetroArch, like CRT Easy Mode. That reminds me the most of when I would play on my Trendtron, and that's what I stick with. Like, I don't mess with, like, specific scanline stuff. But this one is actually, this one's actually more about displayable area than actual scanlines. So, just don't mess with it. Okay, synchronous, yes, I know where we are now. Sorry, I'm easily distracted, and I have a kid climbing up my shoulder, so I'm sorry that I seem a bit spazzy.
Roddy.
Why are you eating my chair, dude? Isn't it bad enough that the armrests are falling off this chair? Now you gotta eat it, too?
Yeah.
What do I think of scanline generators? I mean, if you don't have an OSSC or, like, a method of that injects them already, like, it's cool for people that want to have scanlines. I mean, like, scanlines through, like, the OSSC, RetroTink, and a scanline generator don't actually behave like a scanline does on a CRT, but it does give the illusion. Like, it's a similar enough experience for most people that for those who do want it, like, I'm glad the option exists. It's not something I personally use, I would honestly use scan lines a little bit more often if I didn't stream, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like, if I didn't stream and I had this set up like dedicated to like a larger TV, I might use scan lines. I might use scan lines on the OSSC. I might use the scanline filters on Emulation a lot more. But since I stream, if I try to use scan lines, it just makes the image look worse. Like, it makes the stream output not look good. You got an NVIDIA Shield? Well, there you go, Omar. Some techie YouTubers love them. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having options. And I mean, they work well for what they are. I just don't use them for my aforementioned reasons.
That was quite a yawn, little boy.
Oh, yeah. Pump that arm. Stretch it out. Yeah, he was eating my chair.
Is he ready for bed?
He wasn't acting fussy.
Okay. I'm just a big
He was
guy.
having fun. He was having fun messing with me.
I'm gonna close your door.
Okay. Did I see that 4K CRT TV? I have not seen anything about a 4K CRT TV. I will need to look into this. That sounds really crazy. It was bundled with an 8BitDo NES theme controller? Well, that's even more fascinating, Omar. Well, GG's on the pickup, man. Alright, next up, CD access mode. So, see, this one tells you that you need to restart, so I think that all of these are labeled properly. Anyway, so CD access mode. Synchronous means it just like reads on demand what it needs, just like a real hardware would. And then there is pre-cache, which will load the entire ISO or BinQ file into memory before starting the game, so it takes a little bit longer to load. But it means that it will run faster. But honestly, you really don't need to change it much unless you're using really slow media. Like, if you're using a really slow SD card that can't seem to manage to hit, like, 300K read a second, like, it's when you'll do asynchronous, it'll load it into cache a little bit beforehand, or pre-cache, which will load the whole image into RAM. So, I mean, for the most part, you shouldn't have to use this. But older hardware, man. Some people that run this on older hardware, like, they do need this. Maybe it was a monitor. That still sounds crazy, though. Like, I still want to look into this. But yes, so next up, CD loading speeds. This one's pretty self-explanatory. The PlayStation had a 2x CD-ROM drive. You can emulate that up to a 14x CD-ROM drive to really reduce load times. But it might also break some games. Oops, no. But yeah, let's load up Tony Hawk again real quick and see what happens. You're gonna get Retroarch set up on it? Nice. So yeah, I don't think the game's actually gonna load now since I set that to 14x. So there's an example of how it can break games. Yeah, I broke it. There you go. Broke it. I like showing how you can break stuff. Good times. Wasn't a 4K CRT, it was modern retro games running on a CRT by Digital Foundry. Yes, okay. They have the they have that Sony they have that crazy Sony CRT though, which is basically 1440p. So I mean, it's almost 4K. The thing costs like $600, man. It's crazy. It's so funny though. I literally wrote an article on our gaming website about how awesome it was to play modern games on a CRT, like 5 months before they made that video. And I was like, cool. I'm glad other people are discovering this. I wish they had discovered it through me. Oh well. Whatever. It was just a funny moment. It was funny to me. Yeah, I broke it. I totally broke it. Let's go. We gotta close out and just rerun it. Yeah, it's... Dude, CRTs are awesome, man. Like, that's actually, what I have, let me turn this real quick. There we go. So, I have a CRT that I'm running stream off of right now. Like, that's, look at that, like, big old CRT. So, it's fun. Like, CRTs are freaking amazing. Like, I didn't give CRTs enough credit back when CRTs were the thing. Like, I jumped to LCD so fast. Just because I didn't understand. Like, I didn't understand what it really was, like, missing out on. If you have spare PC parts, why not make example NES PC that just launches NES emulator, plug in the NES controller, load games via Retroarch or Big Box? Well, I mean, I can do that. That's basically what like I love Raspberry Pis and stuff for. Like, you could just like throw Laka on this, Laka, however you want to pronounce it. And it's just a RetroArch OS. Like, it's cool. I have it hooked up as VGA to HDMI. I was going to show you the cable, but it's stuck, so I don't want to break things. Does PS1 on RetroArch support NetPlay? I'm not sure if PS1 on RetroArch supports NetPlay or not. That is a good question. That is what... Hey, look, it's me again. That is what the amazing help section is for, or 101 section. So cores, no, not that one. Okay, so it is help docs. Helps docs for users. Core library, emulation, Sony cores, Beetle PSX hardware. So, it does not support NetPlay currently, unfortunately. You don't want to get a Pi, you don't want to build it, you already want it put together. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons to the whole Pi scene. Like, you can get something like RetroPie software, which has all the front-end stuff, and all you need to do is add games to it, which is really nice and convenient. But, yeah. Now that Raspberry Pi 4s are out, like, emulation on Raspberry Pi is actually really, really good. Like, this is a 3B, so there's a lot of stuff on it that doesn't work right that I'm not the biggest fan of, but, like, Pi 4s are really good. Especially when you enable run-ahead mode and things like that, like, you get a very solid experience on a bunch of older systems. Like, it makes me laugh how people, there's a lot of, like, big people in the retro scene who, like, scoff at software emulation, which I think is hilarious because they, like, go out of their way to praise FPGA when it's just a different type of emulation. And it's like, the emulation quality depends on the emulator author. Like, whoever wrote the core or the software, like, that's what's going to determine how good it is. Like, there's plenty of bad FPGA cores out there. Just like there's plenty of bad emulators out there. Like, it's hilarious to me. Like, there's so much gatekeeping on both sides, really. Like, there's so many people who scoff at FPGA and be like, oh, just get a Pi. It's like, no, dude, let people play how they want to play. If you set up a Pi right, like, it'll give you a very good experience. If you set up FPGA right, it'll give you a really good experience. Like, I don't understand the hate, man. Like, so toxic. Alright. Anyway, where were we? Where were we? CD loading speed. That's right. Don't go up to 14x. As you saw, I broke it. Maybe we can try 4x. Make it work. All right. But yeah, there you go. So now it's loading twice as fast as it would if it wasn't, yeah, it's loading twice as fast as normal. There you go. Nice. Oh, I like to break things all the time. I love breaking stuff. DJ sounds like he's saying the B word. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Alright, so next up is memory card methods. So there's 2 different ways. I just leave it on libretro. Like, I don't know what the benefit of having on MedDefend would be. Then of course you can enable the memory card. If you have a joystick, you can calibrate the joystick. Then DualShock analog mode toggling. There's some button combos you can press to enable the analog stick, but it just acts as the button that's on a DualShock controller. So now I can steer with the analog stick. Cool. Kid, I thought he was saying B-tard on the main menu. That's funny. And then, of course, multi-tap options. So there was some multi-tap games like Madden or Bomberman where you could have more than 2 people playing it. And then light gun options. So if you're playing a light gun game, light gun mode means you're going to use a mouse, or you can use a touchscreen and actually touch it. Gun cursors, so gun cursor for your mouse. Mouse sensitivity for your gun. Well, actually for mouse input device, rather. Sorry, my bad. You used to think Johnson was saying, hey, faster, knock knock. That's awesome. That's awesome, C-Funk. Alright, so let's go over controller options in a second, because there's some more memory card stuff I want to... Okay, so you can actually choose different memory cards to be inserted. You don't need to do that if you have it set to libretro. But yeah, shared memory cards, that's the one I missed. So, by default now, Retroarch will make a new memory card / save file per game, so that way you never actually run out of memory card space, which is really convenient. But if you want to have... games that would look for different saves, like Metal Gear Solid, it would look for different Konami games like Castlevania, things like that, and the Psycho Mantis fight. So if you want those to be there, you need to have a shared memory card. You need to play Castlevania on it and the other games he brings up, and then play Metal Gear. But for the most part, like, you don't need this, and it's better to leave it set to off, just because then you never have to worry about memory card space, which is awesome because a PS1 memory card can only hold 15 saves. So, this was big for me when this came in. You would quote that as a kid, and your older brother thought you were cursing. That's funny. Oh, hey, faster. Knock, knock. It's awesome, man. I love it. There's so many things like that would, so many things that would be like that. Like, you'd think they were saying something else, then you find out they were saying something totally different. You're like, wow, I was saying that wrong this whole time. Mech is bad, eh? Gonna go watch High Score on Netflix? Alright, Kirk, take it easy, my friend. Jeremy Johns just posted about it. Nice. Take it easy, Kirk. I appreciate you popping in and saying, hey, go enjoy High Score over on Netflix. I haven't checked it out yet. I really need to. Thought he was talking to Arbiter and the Banshee and not the brutes in the control room. Yeah, take it easy, Kirk. Have a wonderful night. Last thing let's cover on PS1 emulation, though, real quick. The different type of control options. So, you got the PlayStation controller, DualShock controllers, analog controllers. So, there was actually the PlayStation Flight Stick is known as the analog controller. Analog joystick, and then there was the Gun-Cons, Justifier, then a PlayStation mouse, and then the Neg-Con. Like, this thing's interesting. So you can go through and set all of these individual types of PlayStation controllers that you can use for your games. So if you're playing like Red Alert, you can actually use your computer mouse. Like, it's really freaking cool. So I'm actually going to load that up real quick. Let me close that. Let's go ahead and load content here. What up? Man, I'm having... Oh, it's upside down. That's why I feel dumb. What up, Devious Assistant? How you doing? The upside down E really threw me for a loop. That was awesome.
Allied disk detected. To play the Soviet missions, please insert the Soviet disk.
Please insert the Soviet disk. I don't want to. I don't want to. That was beautiful. Alright. But yeah, let's go. Yep, that works for me. Let's do it. Okay. So, again, we'll let this load real fast. Go faster. Alright. So if we go into controls, I can change this over to the mouse. And now when I go into the game, I am using my mouse to move the cursor. Save, thank you so much for the Twitch follow. I hope it's pronounced Save. Just popping in, and we'll watch some of this later in terms of what the latest best N64 settings are if you get there. Thanks for doing the tutorial. It's been a great refresher. Thank you so much for that Twitch follow and for the kind words. Yeah, I could go over some more N64 stuff here in a bit. We started with PS1, have gone way off topic. I should have been done with that. It should not have taken us this long to get through PS1, honestly, but hey, that's Sav. Okay, cool. Cool. Thanks for the correction. I like to get people's names correct. I think it is important to get people's names correct. So, thank you. Thank you for that. If I turned on an OG Xbox late at night, people sleeping, and the volume was high, no. I have never done that. But yeah, so it's freaking cool that you can actually play PS1 games with a mouse. Like, that boggles my mind. Like, it actually makes the PS1 version of Red Alert, like, pretty cool. I mean, of course, they came out with the remastered editions of it now, but still, like, this is cool stuff.
Construction option. Building on hold. Building.
Like, especially back in the day, like, and the fact that you can emulate it is even more cool to me. Dude, Hell March is one of the best songs ever. But anyway. Just another great option emulation gives you here. Always thought the startup of the OG Xbox was awesome. Though awesome was super loud. Yeah, it's a big fart. It's a big fart. It's very loud. But yeah, for the most part, people will probably just stick this with DualShock and be perfectly happy. Anyway, so there's the cheat files. You know, I'll look into cheats one of these days. Alright, so the next thing is actually disk control. This is where things get a little more complicated. There's one setting you're going to want to set here to make this a lot easier, and it actually goes to the UI. So by default, when you go into the quick menu, it actually pauses the background emulation. So what you're going to want to do is turn this off. Pause content when menu is active under user interface. Turn that off, because then it will leave the game running in the background when you go into the quick menu. So that way when you change disks, if the game would, like, my brain is not keeping up with my mouth again. So anyway, if it's paused and you try to change a disk, it might not trigger the disk change like you think it would. So it actually causes some problems. So by disabling it being paused in the background, that actually solves the issue. So like, let's go into Chrono Cross here real quick. We're going to load up Chrono Cross Disc 2. How do you cheat? I have no idea. I really don't have any idea how to use cheats on Retroarch. I don't use cheats. Like, I very rarely use cheat codes on older games. Still use an old cheat book I have with codes. You're old school? Dude, cheat code books were the best. Like those little hint books that used to come out. Like you'd get them at book fairs. Those were the friggin' best. Alright, but yes, let's go ahead and... So, it's telling me to insert disk 1. So now there's two ways of doing this. You could set up an M3U playlist file, which is recommended, or you could just hit load new disk. And you can go like that. And then it should work, unless it didn't save my setting. It might not have saved my setting. Crap. Hold on. I don't think it's saving my settings. No, it paused it. Okay, cool. Alright, what's its deal then? It should be working. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. This is an error people get all the time, and they ask me about it, so let's go. Hi, baby girl.
This one, this apple.
Oh, this apple's for me? Thank you so much. She came and brought me an apple, guys. There we go. That's better. So I forgot to eject the first disk before telling it to load a new disk, so it got angry at me. That's fine. No worries. But yes, that's one of the ways to load up a disk. The easier method, if you happen to have a multi-disc game, go to where your games are stored. So I have a bunch of stuff on the desktop at the moment. But I have 2 folders for Chrono Cross, so I'm actually going to consolidate them into a single folder real quick. Oh, It's mad at me because I have it open in Retroarch already. Oops. Just close that real quick. Okay. And no M games. Rather have an orange. Anyway, so to make the M3U playlist file, you're going to need to create a new text file. And then you can just name it after your game. And this is for any core. This isn't just PS1. If you have any core that has multi-disc files, this is what you're going to do. So then open that text file. And put the name of your queue files in it. So copy the whole thing. This is great with half a hand. Ah. There we go. So just like that, and then save it when you are done getting all of the disk images in it. And then we're going to rename the extensions. So you're going to need to make sure that you have file name extensions enabled, because some people won't have these enabled and they won't see the .text file at the end of it. So you want to make sure that you have file name extensions shown, otherwise you're going to have a chronocross.m3u.text file, and that's just not going to work. So change the .text to .m3u. It'll say, yeah, you want to change it. That's fine. That's cool. So that's how you do proper multi-disc setup to make life really easy on yourselves. Because now, when we go back into Retroarch, go back to full screen. Welcome back, Wiz. All right. Gonna load the content. PlayStation games, Chrono Cross. Now we'll load up the chronocross.m3u file. And so by default, it will load up disk 1. I wish I had a save that was on disk 2. That would make this easier, but whatever. Okay. But let's, I'm going to go ahead and change it over to disk 2 real quick. So eject, change to disk 2, insert disk. Might got angry at me for that. We'll see. Yeah, it's angry. it got angry. All right, we need to do that before. We need to do that again. Okay, so we'll do it here. Okay. Boot. No, okay. All right, it should already be on disk 2 then, right? You'd think. Think it would. Should be. We'll see. We'll see here in a second. PS1.exe has encountered an error. Well, I just don't have a save on disk 2, so I can't show this like the easy way. Because if I had a save on disk 2, I could just be like, alright, disk 1 loads, load up my save, insert disk 2, change disks. But I don't have a save on disk 2, so I have to load it up, change it to disk 2, load it up again to show you guys how to change it back to disk 1 when it asks. See, now it's saying insert disk 1. So, quick menu, disk control, eject disk, current disk index, change it from 2 to 1, insert disk. Voila. What about MGS? I have a save on the actual PlayStation. I mean, if I wanted to spend like 15 minutes converting that over to my Dex drive and then transferring that Dex drive save over to this computer, I mean, that would work, but Seems a little long-winded for what I'm trying to show off here. But yeah, so that's the easy way of changing discs, but at the same time ejecting the disc, loading a new disc, and then inserting the disc. Like, that still works for now. Like, I think they're going to start phasing that out for pure M3U files, but in the meantime, it does still work. And again, the M3U thing works on all multi-disc games across all supported cores that use multi-disc games, so it's very, like, it's good to get those set up. Definitely makes life easier. Alright. Anything else in PlayStation? I guess, like, the biggest thing is just, like, making a playlist. If you're going to use Retroarch as your front end, you can, scan a directory. So, like, let's go ahead and just scan my PlayStation games. This might not work. Like, we'll scan this directory. It might find them, it might not. We'll see. But after it scans it, there we go. So now I have a PlayStation controller icon, playlist icon down here. And, yeah, so that's the thing. It found all of the games as I meant it to, but at the same time, it's also loading up Disc 1 and 2 of Chrono Cross as separate games instead of using that M3U file. So I personally still prefer to use the desktop menu for all this stuff. So, you bought the Dex drive and you're not even backing up your saves, you madman. But then again, I bought one and haven't unpacked it yet, so what do I know? I backed up all my saves, but it was just before we did Metal Gear, so I haven't backed up Metal Gear yet. I haven't logged into this computer for a bit. But when you're on the desktop menu, it shows up like this, so you have your history page here, which shows you every game you've loaded up recently in RetroArch, and then it has the created playlist. So, I mean, here's our PlayStation playlist it just made. So, I don't want these Chrono Cross entries as two separate things. So, we're just going to get rid of them and add in a new entry. No, I don't like that. We're going to add file. I did it wrong. I don't like that. So, PlayStation games, Chrono Cross, and I'm going to add that M3U file. Now it's going to ask me for the core, Beetle, PSX, database, Sony. Ta-da. So there we go. Now we have just Chrono Cross. And again, I could make the M3U file for Red Alert, also for Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear. I definitely recommend it, but I don't really want to spend more time on PlayStation. I want to move on to something else for you guys. We've been on PlayStation for 2 hours. We just been talking about so much stuff that we've just been on PlayStation forever, which is fine, I guess. But you can also make this prettier by downloading thumbnails for the playlist. So the games do need to be named a specific way, like it needs to have like the region on them for it to find them a lot of the times. Whereas sometimes it just won't find them on all, no matter what they're named. So it's really curious. So it's finding some files for me, but it's failing at a lot of others. It gets the box art, a title screen, and an in-game screenshot, so 3 files per game. So found box art and a screenshot for Ace Combat 2 for me. Found Ace Combat 3, Sarge's Heroes, Beast Wars. Didn't find Chrono Cross because it doesn't have a region code. Not surprised. Didn't find Red Alert because it's Disc 1, Allies, it just needs to be Red Alert USA, and then it would have found it. Dino Crisis, Dune. Same with Final Fantasy. Oh, I found Disc 3. Okay, whatever. Why is it Disc 3? Disc 3 of 3, Disc 2 of 3. Where's Disc 1? I'm confused. Found Metal Gear, okay. Didn't find Resident Evil. But yeah. So if you have a game that pops up that doesn't get cover art downloaded, you could just download your own, drag and drop it right into this image here, like the image box, and like that'll add it manually. So no biggie. But then when you go back into RetroArch, you can go into the playlist and it'll have those box arts over on the side, which look friggin' slick. But yeah, let's move on from PlayStation. We've been on PlayStation forever. I think we've covered pretty much all the basics. If anyone has like any advanced questions about PS1 emulation, like, or troubleshooting, like, just let me know, like, some of the problems you're encountering. We'll see if we can try to replicate them and fix them. So if you think of any, just post them in the chat, and I will try to help walk you through it. But for now, let's go ahead and move on to a different system. All right. Online updater, core downloader. What should we do next? What should we do next, guys? Let's do something easy. Let's do something easy that won't take a long time. Just since we spent so much time on PlayStation, let's get to another system that will go quick. Like, here we go. Let's just, I don't know. What do you want to see? Advanced question, how do you stealth in Metal Gear Solid? I have no idea, Wiz. You saw my playthrough. I got caught all the time. Stealthing in original Metal Gear? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's beyond my skill set. Stay on target. Dude, there's so many different Sega Saturn emulators, but I think they all suck except for Beetle Saturn. SNES? Alright, let's take a look at which SNES cores are currently available. It's a Nintendo. Alright, so Nintendo. Alright, cool. So that sucks. They don't have Hyperkin on here anymore. I liked to use their Hyperkin core because it had very easy Super Game Boy setup, whereas BSNES does not have super easy Super Game Boy setup. So basically there's two main versions of SNES emulation these days. You have BSNES Hyperkin. BSNES became Hyperkin, so they're basically the same thing, but not at the same time. BSNES is technically older, but the great thing about BSNES is that it is pretty much perfect. Like, there's nothing out there that plays Super Nintendo games better than it, other than a Super Nintendo. Like, it's 99.9% accurate. Like, it's crazy. But that comes at the expense of having very demanding CPU requirements. So you really need a good CPU to use it. So it seems counterintuitive. And for the most part, like, the things that it fixes are things that most people don't even really pay attention to or notice. It fixes, like, a couple shadows and transparency effects in, like, a few games. Yeah, they're still recovering from that, Wiz. Like, it sucks, man. Like, it's really, really unfortunate. But then there's also SNES 9X. It's not as accurate, but it requires a lot less power out of your computer. So if you have an older system, SNES 9X is definitely the way to go. And at the same time, SNES 9X is a lot easier to get set up for things like MSU1 audio. So if you like doing those types of hacks, like SNES 9X is a lot better for it. So it really just depends on your system and what type of emulation experience you're going for. Like, this is accurate, whereas this will let you do a lot more features. No, unfortunate sucking. Oh, no. Dang it. What's up, John? How you doing? Let's go ahead and start with SNES 9X, though, because it's a lot easier. A lot easier to use. So, and we're going to go ahead and make a playlist first, just because I don't want to go through the file browser every time, because screw that! So, SNES games. Scan this directory. We'll see if it finds any. The directory scanner is so particular, man. Alright, looks like it found it. Good. Good, let's go. So yes, let's go. SNES 9X core set. Run. Doing good, homie. Just stopping by to say hello at work, so I can't hang today. Ah, no worries. I appreciate you just saying hey. It means a lot. Ah, sweet. We broke Retroarch. Awesome. All right, guys. That doesn't work. Yes. All right. So apparently it doesn't auto default back to OpenGL like I need it to. So we're gonna load the core. We're gonna change the video driver back over to GL, and then we're gonna try that again. We're gonna try that again. See what happens. There we go. So that's a thing that can happen sometimes, apparently. So you just have to load the core, change the video driver yourself, and then load the content, and then you'll have things work like they're supposed to. Have a good one. You too, John. Have a good rest of your day, my friend. Getting a crap ton of screen tearing on this game. Yeah, I'm getting a ton of screen tearing. This is crazy. Yeah, I'm getting a bunch of dirty screen tearing. That's bad. VSync's on. That's the thing. VSync is on. Like, it is on. It's nuts. What the heck? There we go. Let's try turning off FreeSync. Distro! Thank you so much for the raid, man. How you doing? Alright, let's see if that fixes the... Nah, that didn't fix screen tearing. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I have an adaptive sync monitor. We were using FreeSync and it was working fine earlier, but the SNES 9X core just apparently does not like it. But I turned it off and we're still getting screen tearing. But yes, welcome everybody from Distro Stream. I am Ice. I do a bunch of variety stuff, retro stuff, current stuff, whatever stuff. But today we're just kind of dinking around with emulation, showing how to set up different emulator cores within Retroarch. And so we have moved on to Super Nintendo just now. We covered PS1 a little bit earlier. But I'm having my own little issues right now, which is so fun. It's so fun. It's so great. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it was just a fluke. We'll see. Yeah, no, I'm still getting it. Oh wow, that's friggin' weird. Alright, whatever. Maybe there's a core setting in here that's messing it up. Alright, console region, crop overscan, high res mode. That might be what it is. Let's turn off high res mode. No. Let's Still getting it. Might need to restart it. Alright, whatever. 2 hours equals a little bit. Yes, 2 hours does equal a little bit, Wiz. It's just a little bit. It's just a little bit. But Distro, how'd the rest of your run go, my friend? Alright. So, Super Nintendo settings, like, the great thing about SNES 9X, you don't have to have any extra files. It's just download it, play your games. Very nice and simple. It's one of the key benefits of it compared to BSNES, where you have to find like 15 different BIOS files. So yeah, got different aspect ratios. So you got uncorrected, auto, NTSC, PAL even. Like you can have PAL aspect ratio, then 4:3. So a lot of people actually would play Super Nintendo like this back in the early days of emulation, just because it didn't. It would use square pixels instead of stretching it to 4:3, which should look like this. Technically, this isn't wide enough either. It still needs to be just a tad bit wider, but it's whatever. I normally use Hyperkin. Digital. Like, I prefer the accuracy. I have a good enough computer that I don't need to worry about performance. Lost run to Genesis by falling through a gap on the Guardian at the start and losing a minute. Oh no. That's so lame. I'm sorry, man. That's really unfortunate. But yeah, so as far as settings go within SNES 9X, there's this high-res mode. I don't think I care for it. I don't know. I don't really notice a difference, personally. Dang it. What, kids? Oh, look at you. Yeah. I guess. Come here. Look at this. She's got little pigtails coming out the sides of her head.
Mommy gave them to me, so you should.
Yuck. Thanks so much. But then again, we have an overscan crop. So as I was mentioning earlier during the PS1 times, this gets rid of some garbage data that might appear around the sides of a screen that would be normally masked on a CRT. So you can turn that on or off, just your own personal preference. There's this high-res mode, which takes the 256 by 224 content and basically doubles the resolution to 512 by 448. I don't really notice a difference. High-res blending. So if you're going to use high-res mode, you'll probably want to turn this on to fix the transparencies as it states in the description. So then there's the Blarg NTSC filter. This one's cool. They actually have the built-in shader option here with this core now. So I don't know why it's black and white though. That doesn't make much sense. I don't know why it's black and white. Oh, because I changed it to monochrome. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Okay, there we go. So you can play the game like if it was through an RF TV. Look at that. It's nice and choppy and grainy and wavy. Like, look at that. It mimics RF. Gross. Doesn't have scan lines though. Composite. Oh man, look how much sharper the image got. Man, the jump to composite was so big. Oh my gosh. Woo! And then S-Video. Like, this filter is actually really good. Like, these look like screenshots people post on Twitter of, like, their actual stuff coming through, like, a RetroTink. Like, it's fun. And then, of course, RGB. Man, I wish my RGB signal looked that clean. My Super Nintendo has the noisiest video output I've ever seen. Like, it's disgusting. But, like, the softness around the legs and, like, the sprites actually looks really good. Like, it looks pretty dang close. And then, of course, just off gives you that native emulated look of sharpy sharp pixels. Sharp. Oh, it's fun being a gamer, Dad. Allow opposing directions, that's fun. Alright. So, flicker filter, this gets rid of a sprite limit, so when there's a lot of sprites on the same line, it would cause them to start flickering in and out. You see this a lot on NES games especially, like 8-bit games, but it happens on 16-bit as well, so you can turn this on or off to get rid of that. Light gun settings, advanced audio settings, toggle quick menu for those to show up, there you go. So you can turn on the light gun, you can use your mouse for light gun games, and then it has the 3 different light gun types, wow. So, again, light gun or touch screen. So, light gun means mouse, touch screen means that if you have a touch panel, you can just touch it. Monochrome looks like a Game Boy screen. Kinda does. I mean, if it was green at the same time, like, that'd be pretty cool. But how's it going, David? Welcome. So yeah, light gun modes. So there's Justifier, Max, and then Super Scope. You can change the size of crosshairs and very nice stuff. So here's the cool thing about some Super Nintendo emulation. You can actually turn on and off different layers. So like you get rid of the sprite layer. So if you want to just capture like the background of a Super Nintendo game, like I want the background of this game. Like, I want to use the background of this level for something, so I can disable the sprite layer. And now look, now I can take a screenshot of just the background. Like, this is great for people that want to, like, make guides and stuff, just showing, like, the map layouts. And then you can also disable different parts of the layer. So, like, if you just want the background, you can get rid of the foreground layer, so there's just the background, like... A lot of stuff that most users won't actually use, but it's still pretty cool to see in action. And then, of course, the different sound channels. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. But then there's also some control options to mess with in this emulator core. You can press the wrong button. That works too. Thank you. So in the controls, you can have it set to Super Nintendo joypad, the mouse. So if you want to play Mario Paint, you'll set it to the mouse, and then multi-tap for games like Bomberman, Madden, and then interesting that it doesn't have a light gun option. I don't have any Super Nintendo light gun games though, so I don't really know how to check it. This is worth exploring later. There we go. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as SNE9X goes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Change the audio mode. Alright, whatever. Let's go ahead and change over to BSNES real quick, because that one's going to require a little bit more setup. Good, thanks. New subscriber was watching the Sega history video. Very cool. Well, I'm glad that, glad you enjoy it. I just want to share things I think are fun and cool, so that's basically all I do. If people find it enjoyable, it makes me happy. If they don't, well, I mean, what am I gonna do? Let's go to the online update. Thanks for helping me figure out how to get the mouse on Mario Paint to work yesterday. We couldn't figure it out. Oh, no worries. Core Downloader. Like I said, I like to help people out when it comes to RetroArch. Like, it's a very complicated looking program, but once you, like, start diving in, like, it's not too bad. It could definitely be a lot better. But for what it offers, like, it's not the worst. It's not the worst out there. And so, if I can understand it a little bit better, and that can help other people understand it a little bit better, like, that makes me happy. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab BSNES. So again, BSNES is pretty much a perfect Super Nintendo. Like 99.9% perfect. It does require a crap ton more processing power, so it's not good for lower CPU devices like a Raspberry Pi 3. Like my 3 wouldn't run it very good. The 4 might run it okay now, but I don't know. I don't have a 4. But like, I wouldn't use BSNES on a Pi. I would use SNES 9X on a Pi. Let's go ahead and load back in here. Dang it, wrong button. Okay, so the thing to note about BSNES is it does require a lot of extra files to function properly. So if you try to load up into a game like here, Doom will use I think you might need a separate thing for Super FX. I don't remember. Mario Kart shouldn't load since it uses DSP1. Maybe we'll just do that one, or maybe we'll do Yoshi's Island. That one definitely wouldn't. Maybe, I don't know. Oh snap, David, that is, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. That is very generous. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Oh man, this is so small. I need glasses. That was very generous. I thank you so much for that. You've just helped keep the channel running a little bit longer, my friend. Now we just need the notification. There it is. All right, let's here, run that. It shouldn't run. It should crash on us when we try to run it. Ah, David, thank you so much. That is above and beyond. Like, thank you. Okay. So, no, it loaded. What the? That shouldn't have loaded. Alright, that's fine. If BSNES wants to load without extra files, I am okay with this. But it really shouldn't have loaded. Which games won't load then? My whole life is a lie. That shouldn't have loaded. What? Will it load MegaManX? Okay, it'll load. What? Why is it loading Special Chips games? It shouldn't load these. I'm so confused. Alright, Mario Kart, DSP1. That shouldn't load. What? What? None of this should load. What is this? Okay. I'll take it, I guess. Apparently you don't need the BIOS files for BSNES anymore? What? What is going on? Yeah, I am very confused. Hey, look, the screen tearing's gone. They must have. They must have updated it. Like when I did my last tutorial earlier this year, none of these games would boot without the files. That is not the case right now. All right, that is friggin' awesome. Man, I'm bad at Super Mario Kart. I haven't played this in a while. All right, that's okay. What the heck? I am legitimately at a loss for words. What? Okay, Doom. Maybe Doom will break it. Doom, please break it. Please, Doom. No, Doom says, no, we're not going to break it. We're going to play nice. Okay, fine, Doom. Fine. I see how it is. Dude, this version of Doom is crazy. I really like the music in it. I am at a loss. Like, what? Okay. Here we go. Let's take a look in the... Oh, that's cool. They did update it. They merged BSNES HD and regular BSNES into one. Look, this has the Mode 7, oops. Hot fixes, CPU overclocking, SFX, Super FX coprocessor overclocking. Ooh, this is a good one to show off on Doom. That actually runs fast. Comparatively. That's weird. Yeah, so I made that video earlier this year that covered BSNES HD specifically. And then another one that was about Hygen because BSNES HD wasn't as accurate as Hygen was. Thank you, baby girl. That was so cute. Thank you so much. So it looks like they combined BSNES and BSNES HD into one core. Because I've been getting a ton of comments asking me to upload the BSNES HD core, and I was like, I don't have that. Like, I deleted that because I use Hygen. But it looks like it's all combined into one. So I'm definitely gonna need to make an update to that video because, like, that core doesn't exist anymore. It's just BSNES now. This is weird. This is so weird. So yeah, you can technically, you should be able to do the widescreen hack in here, I imagine. No, maybe not. Like, maybe it's just, I don't think it has the widescreen mode that the BSNES HD had. I don't see it, but, like, you have HD Mode 7 options, that's for sure. Arcade Ren, what's up, buddy? How you been? You have this shirt? Dude, nice. I got this shirt from Target, and then a day later I spilled bleach on it, so it has this nice blue line going through it. So, I mean, I wrecked this shirt like 2 days after I got it. It feels good. Well, I mean, BSNES and Hygen are basically the same core, just, this, like, just, when, how do you pronounce his name? BU, changed everything over to Hygen. It just changed some of the ways things worked compared to old BSNES. Like, Super Game Boy implementation is different between Hygen and BSNES, and then, MSU1 stuff is different between BSNES and Hygen, so that's really the only difference between them, from my understanding. other than, yeah. Same place I got mine, nice. So, like, maybe Hygen is like 99.9% compatible and BSNES is like 99.5% compatible, but I mean, for the most part, you shouldn't notice a difference between them. It's just the way that different things function between them that were made easier on Hygen. Like, Super Game Boy was much easier on Hygen than it is on BSNES, or at least it was when I made those videos last time. Come here. Come here, bug. Come here, bug. No, my microphone. My microphone. No, hi. Hi, you gonna eat my face? You gonna eat my face? He's gonna eat my face. Ah, he's gonna eat my face! Ah, he's gonna eat it! Oh, hi. Oh, hello. Whoa, where are you going? Alright, guys. This is Roddy. This is Roddy. He's the little munchkin. He's the little munchkin that I do everything for. Everything I do is for him. When you support my channel, you're supporting him. Everything goes directly to him because he needs to eat. Oh, man. Ah. Let's crank this up. We're gonna make Doom run fast. Wow, where are you going? Don't fall, bro. We're gonna make Doom run fast. Ah, that's my face. Fast Doom. Yeah, Roddy, we're gonna play some Fast Doom on Super Nintendo. Yeah, Fast Doom. How do I open doors? This isn't a door I can open yet. Going the wrong way. Going the wrong way. Remember your Doom! Ah, I'm stuck on a wall. I can't move. There we go, strafing. It's hard to play this with one hand. Yeah! How do I shoot? There we go. Shoot these pixelated monsters. You can't even tell what they are. What up, Munchkin? Geeking out about Zeta Wing being released for the Commodore 64 this past week. Sarah Jane Avery did an amazing job for all of you that may have a C64 around. Uh-oh. Grumpy Munchkin. Grumpy Bugger. Grumpy Bunker. Bunger? Ow, that's my hair. He's beating me up. No, that's my microphone. Eat my chair. Yeah, eat the chair. There he is. There he is. That's okay. He's been showing off on stream how cute he is. Pew! Drama to show me? Oh dear. No, definitely not. Alright. Let the baby play? Dude, he plays the Xbox when none of us are looking. It's hilarious. He'll grab a controller, turn it on, and cause all kinds of havoc. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Alright, so apparently BSNES does not need extra setup anymore, and I'm dumbfounded by it. That's cool. Alright, so a couple things I want to make note of on BSNES though before we move on to something else. Blur emulation, this is important to enable for certain games. It actually resulted in games having transparency effects. One of those is Jurassic Park, the first Jurassic Park game, you know, the one that has like first person mode when you go inside buildings and things like that. It wouldn't have correct transparencies or shadows without this blur emulation effect on. And then I was showing you the overclocking modes. Then you could also do a bunch of stuff to the PPU. So fast mode, that's less accurate. You can turn it off to increase accuracy. De-interlace. I'm not sure of any SNES games that need that really. I don't know a whole lot about the de-interlace one. No sprite limit. Same thing as in BSNES. You have a lot of things on the same line. It'll cause flickering. You can disable that by increasing it. Overscan. Do I have a Mode 7 game right now? I want to show that. I want to show HD Mode 7, because that's really cool. I don't think I have a single Mode 7 game on here right now. No, Mario Kart. I'm dumb. We do have a Mode 7 game. Okay, so HD Mode 7. This is friggin' cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and get in here. So HD Mode 7, let's crank this up. Maybe I need to restart it first. Yeah, this one probably needs a restart for it to kick in, because I'm not noticing anything different. Yeah, let's go ahead and restart it after that then. Alright, close content, run content. Let's see if that does it. Earned a new sub. I'm glad to have you aboard, Devious. It's been fun hanging out with you in stream. I hope that I am showing off some stuff that is of interest. If you have any like specific questions or things you want to see, just let me know too. Like, I just want to show stuff off. Like, I don't really have like a set programming right now. Not Okay, so this HD Mode 7 doesn't seem to be doing anything yet. I'm confused. So maybe it's not implemented correctly just yet or something. I don't know. Like, it should look a lot better than that. And when I turn it up to 8x, it should be tanking my computer. So I really don't think it's doing anything. There must be something else I need to turn on first. Oh yeah, here we go. So coprocessor prefer high-level emulation. So they did add in high-level emulation versions of the coprocessors. That's why we're able to play all these. That's awesome. So yeah, there we go. I'm about to get lapped. Ah, whatever. I want HD Mode 7 to work, but it's not working. The setting is hidden behind your camera. Must be. Yeah, that's weird. So this should be a 4x at Mode 7 scale. I don't know why it's not working. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Maybe, I don't know. Run ahead mode's tanking the computer. That's funny. I have a question. Anyone have a way to make the PS Classic Wi-Fi able? I believe that someone was maybe working on that. I'm not sure. Because when you hack the PS Classic, it basically runs like Laka, however you pronounce that. And I believe there are certain Wi-Fi adapters that will work on it. I'm not sure. Like, you need to get the cable that can plug into the back, and then you can have like that lets you plug in power and still has the additional USB slot. Let me just show you one. Okay. So you need a adapter that make this bigger. You would need an adapter that is like this. So it has micro USB. This plugs into the PS Classic, and then you can still plug in power to the PS Classic. But you also get USB. And then I imagine you'd hook a hub up to that with a Wi-Fi adapter and then your external storage to play games. I believe this is the right one for the PS Classic. There's a right angle one and a left angle one. And so all the classics require a different version, so I believe that this was the right one for the PS Classic. I'm not sure. But I'm not gonna lie, I haven't looked into modding any of the classic systems in a while. So that's one of the things I think would be really fun to do. So I'm supposed to be doing these, I want to be doing these streams like every Monday, just covering different emulation things, like different systems. So, for example, I mainly focus on PC. So one of these Mondays, I think it would be cool to get Retroarch completely set up on a Wii U or a Vita, or do the PlayStation Classic hack and show how to set it up and show how much better it is compared to stock, like different things like that. I think that would be really cool just to do that, because again, my main focus has always been PC, and people ask me about this other stuff. It's like, I don't know, I don't use it. So I don't know, it's an idea. I have the equipment to do it, so no reason not to, really. But I'm still confused about this Mode 7 HD nonsense. I don't know why it's not working, so whatever. Let's see if you could do HLE Super Game Boy now, because that would be kind of cool. But yeah, no worries. If you have any other questions, just let me know. I want to try to help people, so more questions the better. All the questions, I will do my best. I'm not an expert, like I said, but I know quite a bit. All right, let's see here. I just tried to, no, BSNES is loaded. Okay, so you still need to set up the Super Game Boy BIOS stuff correctly. Let's see if BSNES is a little bit nicer about that than it used to be. So Let's load up the desktop menu, actually. So, in case you were wondering about all these optional files I was talking about for BSNES, like, it looks for all of this stuff. Like, it's looking for DSP 1 through 4, the CX4 data, the SFX chip, and S1 or SA1 chips. Like, it's looking for all of this stuff. And so, like, DSPs, the STs, and then Super Game Boy looks like this. So you do need to source these files, and once you source them, you can put them into your system folder. And then when you click on a Super Nintendo game, it should find them. So there we go. So I forgot to copy the CX4. There we go. But that's the best way to troubleshoot if you have files or not. Like, you just click on the game that needs them, and if it's green, that means you got it. If it's red, it means you don't. So according to the quick menu, we should be able to load up Super Game Boy now. We'll see if that's actually true or not. So, like I said, I have trouble with Super Game Boy through BSNES. I can get it to load up through Hyperkin, but for whatever reason, I've never been able to get BSNES itself to work with Super Game Boy. It has always hated me for it. But let's see what happens. Nope. Nope. It's dead. There we go. It died. Let's see here. Let's see here. Man, I have a lot of folders open. Show me my desktop menu. Okay. I wonder if... Let's move that out of here real quick. Let's try this. Yes, let's change it. Let's see what that does. Okay, so that seems to still be being detected like it should. Like, it's still showing up. Let's see if that actually does it, though. NVIDIA Shield took a long time to set up. I'm sorry, Omar. Was it just downloading a bunch of stuff, or just a complete pain in the butt? Alright, there we go. Okay, so there we go. Super Game Boy. Start with PS Classic, but switch to my laptop. Can bring it anywhere. Yup. Okay, so the folder structure I had set up was what is used in Hyperkin, but apparently you just need the Super Game Boy ROM file for BSNES, and that's why it's always been a problem, because the Retroarch documentation said you need the folder structure for BSNES, and I've never thought to try and rename the ROM. Go figure! When you actually stop to try to figure something out, you can figure it out. Who'd have guessed? But there you go. So there is Super Game Boy emulation within BSNES. Like, that's friggin' awesome. You gotta run? Alright, Wiz, thank you so much for hanging out, man, and thank you so much again for the $5 donation. You are single-handedly keeping this stream afloat these days, it seems like. This is crazy, man. Thank you again. It means the world to us, man. I hope you have a wonderful night. We'll see you back soon. How did I do that? I renamed, so I had, let's just go ahead and quit out of this. So I had the Super Game Boy folder set up according to how Hyperkin wants it and how the Retroarch documentation put it. So you have the Super Game Boy ROM and then a boot file. And that all goes into a folder named SGB1s for Super Game Boy 1. But I figured I would try renaming the Super Game Boy ROM just to sgb1.ssc for BSNES, and it appears to work just fine. BSNES is a weird name for the core. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess he went by BU or Bayou. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, I mean, maybe the B for Bayou, BU, and then Super Nintendo. So, I don't know. I don't know where he got the name. But that's cool. That's cool. I am glad to have that figured out. We're gonna need to do a new Super Nintendo core tutorial. Dude, I love this channel. No, I love Castlemania Games. Best web store in existence. How's it going, my friend? By the way, I need to requisition from you a number of Castlemania Games stickers for the new recording space so we can shamelessly self-promote you. But how's it been? Doing all right? I'm glad to hear it. I'm finally doing reviews on the couple of N64 controllers I bought from you like a year ago. I feel so dumb. It's like I've been holding on to these and the boxes have been floating around forever, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna finally do them. There we go. Well, I appreciate it, Omar. I mean, I just want to help people. Like, I can't state that enough. Like, I genuinely just want to help people out. Like, people see this program and they get scared of it. And, like, I don't blame them. Like, when I first started using Retroarch, like, back in, what was it, like, 2014, 2015 now? I don't remember when exactly. Like, I couldn't stand it. Like, I couldn't stand using it. Like, it was so confusing. And then I finally just sat down and decided to learn it, and once you do that, like, it's the same with anything you try to tackle in life. Once you start learning how to do it, it's not as complicated for you. So try to spread that knowledge around, make it a little bit easier for other people. Have a ton of work ahead of you at the moment. How have the X stations been? It seems like everyone is absolutely loving them. Like, I'm super excited about that for you. But what's next on the plate, if you can share some behind-the-scenes info? What's my go-to shader? I like CRT Easy Mode. It reminds me of my Trinitron that I used to have. That's what I personally use. Let's, load this up real quick. That's a big part of it. That's cool. Oh, it's so exciting, man. Like, that. You have no idea how excited I am for you. Like, people talking about it and just absolutely, like, praising it. Like, it makes me so happy. And then seeing it in installer shops like Dragon Horde Gaming, or I think I got that right. Like, I was looking at a couple installer shops and I saw it there and it made me happy. Let's see here. There's one really interesting problem with shaders though, Devious. They don't work on my monitor. Like this monitor, like I can't see shaders. Like it's really weird. Keep pressing the wrong button at the moment. This is what I get for using an N64 controller. But like turn video shaders on. Load shader presets, slang for Vulkan. No, I'm not on Vulkan at the moment, I don't think, though. No, I am on Vulkan. CRT easy mode. Like, I love using CRT easy mode, but, oh, it's working now. They updated it, good. Okay, cool. This is the first time this has actually worked for me in a few months. I haven't tried because they haven't worked, so that's cool. PlayStation. What game systems have multi-disc games? Pretty much anything that runs a CD. So Sega CD has multi-disc games, 3DO has multi-disc games, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, GameCube. Xbox never had a multi-disc game, actually. Original Xbox, that is. Not to my knowledge, anyway. 360 did, PS3 didn't, PS4 does, Xbox One does. TurboGrafx 16 CD, PC Engine CD, I believe it has multi-disc games. I'm not quite certain since I'm not too familiar with the system. I'm pretty sure there's like one multi-disc CDI game. Don't quote me on that though. But yeah, pretty much any system that used CDs had a multi-disc version. Where's my mouse? There it is. There we go. Whoops. Okay, so shaders are working for me again. This is awesome. The problem with shaders is they don't show up on stream. Like, it actually makes stream image look worse. Like, I tried to capture the scan lines that were found on the Polymega. I can't wait till that comes out in November, if it is able to hit its November release date. I think they're actually going to hit it this time. They have so many people testing it, it should finally work out for them. And then all the people that bag on it can shut up, finally. They won't, but they can. But yeah, that's great. Okay, cool. So we have shaders again. Neato. So yeah, so CRT easy mode is my preferred, but there's some really good ones, like so many crazy good shaders these days. So if you want stuff that's accurate to like TVs from back in the day, like you can do the Royale shaders. So composite shader. Well then, I think I killed it. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So like this is composite video through Royale, which is, it's not quite as good as the Blarg filter. Like all it is applying a bunch of bilinear filtering. Like it's not actually this isn't actually a good representation of composite in my mind. Like it's just super bilinear filtered. It doesn't have the combing artifacts and stuff like the Blarg filters do in SNES 9X. Hoping. I've had mine on pre-order forever. Me too. Me too. But I got to meet Brian at E3 last year, and man, like, great guy. Great guy. And the Polymega was super cool to use. Like, it's legit. Like, it just needs to hurry up and come out, but first they get screwed by the Intel shortage because they're using the Intel CPUs, and they had a bunch of problems with that. Like Intel had widespread shortages on everything, so something with as low ordered as something with as low of an order as the Polymega didn't get priority. So I understand the first delay personally, but then COVID hit, so I understand the second delay. So it's like, dang it. I understand what happened. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it, but I understand. Ew. Oh man. But yeah, like the people that have the Polymega test units now, like who all got one? Like I know Nintendo Life got one. And like they're singing its praises, and a bunch of other people have been singing its praises, so it's exciting. Like I really can't wait. Let's look at this one. Yeah, like this one's a little bit better. It's adding in the waviness. These are really dark filters though. Yeah, they're really dark. They add a lot of darkening to them right now. Not gonna lie though, my favorite use of shaders comes from the handheld border shaders. Like, you get some really cool console borders. Oh, let's do a Game Boy Advance. Let's play Metal Gear on a Game Boy Advance screen. Oh, why is it so dark? It's not okay. Let's see here, which one? That one's giving us some curvature around the edges. Yeah, that's right. Modern Vintage Gamer did get one. He called out some of the incompatibilities that have since been patched, which is pretty awesome. I love it when test units come out and they're like, "Hey, this is an issue," and they're like, "All right, it's fixed now." Like, perfect, perfect. Look at that. The test worked. What do you feel is the best handheld to put Retroarch on? Probably the Vita and the Switch for like actual traditional handhelds, like console handhelds, company handheld. Wow. Then there's things like the GPD Win. Like, they have some pretty good specs in them, and it's a PC, so you can run Retroarch on that really well, along with other desktop emulators. So it's an interesting device to mess with. It's more expensive, of course, but it's something. Then, of course, you can always make a handheld Raspberry Pi. I really want to get a Raspberry Pi 4 one of these days, because you could do some pretty crazy stuff with Retroarch on it. Like, you can actually use the run-ahead options to get rid of input latency. Like, it's nuts. The things you can do with emulation through software and then FPGA these days, man, like, it's so awesome. Like, preservation has made it so these consoles can be played regardless of the hardware or game still running ever. Like, this stuff is available forever now. And that's what makes me happy. Here, let's I want to boot up Game Boy real quick, just because the borders are the funnest part of it. Let's not content downloader, core downloader. I'm losing my mind. It's getting to be dinner time. I'm getting a little crazy. Apparently I need to eat. You're not you when you're hungry. There we go. MGBA. I'm so glad they fixed this content scanner. Like, this is actually picking up all the games so far today. It's really good. Like, this has been broken for so long. I'm glad it works now. Woohoo! Alright. I need chat, everyone in chat, to tell me your favorite handheld system ever. Like, what's your favorite handheld system? Out of any of them, any handheld system ever made, which one's your favorite? You're glad you play retro games more than your Xbox One? I bounce back and forth so much between everything. Alright, what's up, Marco? DS for you, hands down. Same with Digital Outlaw, DS. Let's go. A lot of DS. A lot of DS love here. Let's go. GBA. Devious says GBA. Nice. So for me personally, I think GBA is my favorite as well. I have a lot of love for the GBA system. It came out when I was in high school, and I have some really fun memories with it, like playing Tony Hawk 2 on it, Super Mario Brothers 2 on it, Castlevania on it. Just the library is so top notch, like it's so crazy. But the greatest thing about my GBA, so when the GBA came out, it launched in 4 colors. It had the Glacier Blue, Pink, Purple, and White. And so I wanted the white one or the Glacier one. But they were sold out everywhere. The only ones I could find were pink. So I really wanted a GBA, and I really wanted Tony Hawk 2 on GBA. And so I finally said, you know what, screw it, I don't care. I'm going to rock a pink GBA. So, I mean, this is the early 2000s, you know. Big dude rocking a pink GBA, you know. The people that would make fun of me were none other, but it was awesome because they'd be like, man, you're so freaking lame. A pink system. And it's like, buddy, do you have a system? No? Exactly. I'm enjoying games. You suck. Just different things like that. It was just a lot of fun memories of just screwing around with people that were trying to give me a crap about having a pink GBA. I rocked that thing for a long time, and then it broke. Oh, man. GBA. Love it. Love GBA. Dang it. I keep pressing the friggin' wrong button. Going into shaders. Real men use pink Game Boys. Pink Game Boy. It was just fun, man. So this is a cool thing. Like, you have sharper colors, or you can have the more muted colors of the actual LCD screen. So, Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance had a surprising lack of red in it. It was interesting. Same with Game Boy. It's weird. Then you can just turn it off. But yeah, let's I want to show some of the borders for shaders, because these are the best. This is legitimately my favorite use of shaders is on Game Boy. So console border, Game Boy Advance, let's go 4X. Let's see here. So there we go. We have an actual Game Boy on a Game Boy screen. Look at that. And it actually implements like the GBA screen motion blur. Like, this is super cool stuff. But apparently this is the wrong size for my monitor. Alright, let's see here. GBA, let's do 6X. There we go. That's more like it. So this is legitimately my favorite shader. It's like playing a Game Boy Advance under a microscope. Like, it's so cool. Man, I suck at this game. I haven't played it in a while. But yeah, the handhelds are where shaders really come into play for me. Like, I don't care for using the shaders on console games a whole lot, but when it comes to the handhelds, I just absolutely adore them. It's like you can have like the friggin' original Game Boy. Like, look at that. We got, this is what like original Game Boy shader for a Game Boy Advance game. Like, it doesn't look quite right. It doesn't have the right motion blur for this game, but when you have it on an actual Game Boy game, it looks freaking cool. Oh, it's so great. Like, I love the handheld shaders. And then you can download one for DS. Like, they have the DS screen shaders. Like right here, you can download. You can implement DS screen shaders. But you can actually download a border shader for oh, there we go. So here's this is the right one. The alternate one has the motion blur for the damage screen. Then let's see here. I love handheld shaders. Game Boy Light. That's cool. Like, how cool is that one? I can't believe the Game Boy Light never got released in North America, man. Like, that's so dumb. Freaking Nintendo. Let's see here. Which other one? We got Game Boy Pocket, which is basically Game Boy Light, but without the light. Oh, that's right. Game Boy Pocket got rid of the green tint, didn't it? I never owned a Game Boy Pocket. I only had the original, then I jumped to color. Yeah, so then Game Boy Color. That one's fun. I'm sad that it doesn't have the Nintendo DS by default, though. But yeah, then it has Game Gear even, like... Dude, look at that. Like, how cool is that? One thing to take note of, though, when it comes to these handheld shaders, you see how it's cropping it on the right and left sides of the screen? That's because the core aspect ratio is set to match that of the Game Boy Advance. So if you actually go out to your settings and you go to your video and change the output, I believe. No, not output. Scaling. Yeah, go into scaling and you change it to just 16:9. You'll get the full image. It won't be cropped anymore. But if you don't use the shader, your game is going to be stretched across the whole screen, which is improper technically. but still, it's cool. Just something to keep in mind. If you don't care that it's cropping, then don't worry about it. But there's a lot of people that do, so it's just a way to show those of you out there that care that you can get the full image. Yours doesn't have the sides. Like the sides of the console. You might need to use a lower scaled shader then. See, I need to use the 7X ones because I have a 4K monitor. If you're on like a 1080p, you want to stick to like the 3 or the 4. The 3 or the 4 to get the full console to show up. That's the biggest difference. Like, I'm showing it at 4K. So for someone on a lower end screen, you'll want to use the 3 or 4. Dang it. What else do we got down here? PSP, there we go. So like on PSP, you want to use like the 3. So for me, it's all friggin' small because I have a 4K screen, but on a 1080p, that would be like cutting off right around the square in the D-pad, I feel. Like that. That's what it should look like if you're at 1080p and using the 3X. Dude. Look at that. Integer scaled PSP screen for Game Boy Advance. Let's go. Let's freaking do it. This is actually how I played a lot of Game Boy Advance games after the PSP came out. I bought a PSP specifically to hack it and play like Super Nintendo and GBA games on it. So I actually did play through this game on PSP. That's funny. Oh, Neo Geo Pocket Color, let's go. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Yeah. Let's turn off integer scaling real quick just to see what happens. I'm curious. I'm very curious now. So scaling, integer scale off. Oh, that just changes the, it doesn't change the picture, it just changes the border. Okay. Never mind, we'll leave it on. That's fun. But yeah, there's so many cool things that shaders do let you do. I need to mess with them more. Oh, here we go. Let's make it look a little more Game Boy-ish. Excuse me. How do I get rid of it, though? I don't know how to get rid of this. I don't know how to get rid of it. Oh, no. Oh, crap. Oh, well. Wow, that really does darken it. This is why I don't mess with the video filter. You can't... I don't know how to turn them off. Then, of course, bilinear filtering if you want to soften the image. I hate it. I hate bilinear filtering on Retroarch. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Ah, breaking stuff. All right. All right. Well, I think we will call it there for our first installment of Retroarch messing around with. We'll come back next week with some more stuff. If you would you guys want to see like one of the classics, like go over the classic, like PS Classic next time? Because that really sounds fun. Like maybe we'll do that. Like, we'll show how to do a bunch of stuff with the PS Classic next time instead. What do you guys think? I broke it. We're going to end this stream with breaking Retroarch. That's A+. Oh, man. Good stuff. I hope that you guys found something usable and enjoyable in there. If you have any questions, just go ahead and let me know. I'm more than helpy. I'm more than happy to help if I can. I mean, some problems aren't specific to RetroArch. Sometimes issues people come across are as simple as people need to update their GPU driver, like, or they have a faulty sound driver or something like that. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I can't account for when it comes to emulating using RetroArch, but I mean, if I can try to help, I will, for sure. So hit up the comment section in my videos, or you can hop on Discord, ask there. I should make a dedicated emulation channel, honestly. I don't know why I haven't yet, but feel free to ask questions. I will do my best. I run a gaming website. I do these YouTube videos. I have a family, so I'm not always the most talkative. I try to keep up with things as I can, but things are busy. So, I mean, for those of you watching on YouTube, you can head over to the main channel and see the types of stuff I cover, so, in addition to emulation, so, if you haven't already, make sure to go check it out. I definitely appreciate it. But I am going to go and start getting dinner ready for the family. I appreciate everyone hanging out for this past 3.5 hours. It was a lot of fun for me. Like, it's definitely not as, it's not as condensed as when I edit together just a tutorial video. Like, it's a lot more spread out, so I apologize for that, but I hope you've had fun with it nonetheless. So, I mean, I have. I'm not gonna lie, I get kind of burned out on the tutorial videos, so just being able to goof around with it like this and do it live and still be able to help people is a lot of fun for me, so, and hopefully it's still informative. So again, thank you everyone for hanging out today. Let's see who we can throw a wonderful host over to on the Twitch side of things, because Distro was awesome enough to throw us a host. So let's go see who's up live right now. Let's see here. All right, we are going to you know what, we're gonna hit up the retro category. You know what, we're gonna do something I don't normally do. Look at all the people streaming Metal Gear Solid right now because it came over to GOG. But yeah, let's go to the retro category. All right, we're going to viewers low. We're gonna start with the lowest viewers. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. That does not look like an SNES game. All right. This place. I'd totally host the guy playing GoldenEye, but I don't know Portuguese. What's up with all these Portuguese? Alright, we need English. I want English. I want English. Go. Alright. Let's see here. I like really want to host someone that has like no viewers just to make their day. But I only have 2 viewers myself, so this isn't going so well. On Twitch, that is. I only have 2 viewers on Twitch. Whatever. Alright. You know what? Actually, let's just go ahead and we'll host Cinnamon. Alright. Alright, everybody. Thanks so much again. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.
Out. He's so funny, he makes himself pass out.
It wasn't even what I said, it was your reaction to it.
I soft-locked the game. I literally soft-locked the game, guys. It doesn't work. The game no longer works.
Alright, where you at, Jedi? Are you still in the shop?
Ah!
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!